TikTok they had the creator fund. I don't know how familiar you are with the creator fund, but they, essentially think YouTube monetization program, but for TikTok, it's chief creators compensating them. The rap on it was not great. And then over the last couple of months, they've been transitioning to this creativity program beta. And I want to talk about it today because one of the things it's doing, one of the criterias for being paid and being paid 20 times as much as they've marketed it, they've been marketing it as you can get paid 20 times as much as you could.
Dang.
Is videos that are technically long form. So we're talking 10 minutes.
So do these need to feel like TikTok native?
Obviously, the visual of the platform leans more towards an extended play short. It would venture to that. And actually, if you go on TikTok, that's what you see. Mm-hmm. Like you don't see that many people turning their phone sideways to watch videos on TikTok.
That's something a boomer would do.
But people do make them for that, and they'll tell you like turn your phone sideways and things like that. But we're talking an extended play vertical video. But why I bring this up is because the push to long form, the push to long form video, I think is one that clearly TikTok is paying attention to. Therefore, we as entrepreneurs have to pay attention to it. And so I wanted to get your thoughts just on what people perhaps might be underestimating about long form videos, just the work. And then I want to get your thoughts parallel, because many on the platform are like, we don't want to be YouTube. And so some people their feathers are ruffled at the idea of becoming 10-minute plus creators to make their lifestyle their living.
I mean, for me as somebody who hasn't found a ton of success on TikTok, mainly because of the way that we create, I would say that this is probably a huge win for people who are YouTube first to maybe play in the TikTok pool. But I think they're probably recognizing that short form content has a shelf life.
Yeah.
And a lot of the creators that are on there are probably wondering how they're going to create content that long, right? Because most of the stuff that's on there between trends or little quick hits or tips, I mean, that's not how people use TikTok. So
correct.
They're trying to change that, obviously. Why do you think they're doing that? Why do you think everybody's going to long form?
It's a business play, okay. I think, in the sense of, I think the ability to pull in more advertisers. If I know we got a platform of millions upon millions of users that spend hours upon hours on this platform,
right?
I am more valuable to advertisers, to businesses. So I think that would be the play, especially if you look at the relationship between social media platforms and advertisers right now. I think it's.
Do you think it's also to draw a more mature user?
I don't think so, personally, because a lot of the other things are geared. Most of the rest of the platform is geared towards Gen Z, late millennial. I think just the way we conduct ourselves, how we create, and even just how TikTok functions with other businesses, e-commerce, TikTok Shop. I don't think it's.
Do you think that's where things are going just in general, though? Longer form content?
I do think they're going there. I think we're making ourselves go there by the obscene amount of short form content.
Yeah.
It's like flick. It's like, let me settle down and watch something that actually helps me, enriches me, maybe educates me, and that I align to. We're wired for connection, for story, for relationship. We're not wired for like this sort of addictive, constant. We're wired for the lull, the ebb and flow, or the. I don't have the right framing.
It's the story though, right? It's the hero's journey. It's the completion of it. My daughters and I like to watch YouTube a lot.
Yeah.
We watched a documentary the other day called "Why the Swiss Love Their Guns More Than Americans." Was intrigued. It was 38 minutes. We then flowed over to Noah Kagan.
Yeah.
And we were picking up entrepreneurial content. My daughters were just immersed in it, right?
Yeah.
They like to maybe sometimes watch shorts with their friends. But in terms of learning, educating, enhancing their mind, short form to me doesn't do that. And that addictive quality, it's actually pretty exhausting. Hence why I'm not really on TikTok much anymore. I find myself doing it with shorts for sure.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
The way in my mind, the way I wanted to phrase it was like, we're not built to microwave relationships.
Yeah.
Like we're built for longevity. for that wasn't great, but that next one's awesome. The previous 10 were great. Like we're built for that. Like some days you show up, you're on top of it. Some days you're not. But
So,
in it,
so I think though, it's just, I think we're moving to that. What we already know to be true is people want to build a relationship with the creator.
correct.
And they want to see who they are authentically and hear their stories. And that's hard to do with short form.
Well, one of the people behind the program that speaks on behalf of TikTok, they have a quote that I actually pulled on that note, and it said, "Brands that continually spark global curiosity, upend traditional storytelling, and build trust with their audience will have the most success on the platform in the next year."
Yep.
And so, to your point, that is ultimately what it's going to allow people to do. It's going to bring in more revenue. The reason why we'll bring in 20 times more revenue is because if you think of why YouTube is so successful.
Well, people probably will stay on there a congruent amount of time, 20 times more.
Exactly.
20 times longer.
You build 20 times into it, so into the platform itself, and so I can pay you 20 times more. And so I wanted to touch on that, though, because we live in this world where, as business owners, we know a lot of business owners. We've served many, and they're like, we got to create content. We got to do this. But the long-term play of where's it going? Where's the puck going?
Yeah. What should entrepreneurs be thinking about on that note?
My advice to them would be, what are consumers wired for?
Right.
Consumers are wired for relationship, trust, authenticity. And so rather than worrying about what's hot right now, remember that, because that hasn't changed in sales. That hasn't changed in marketing. It hasn't changed in customer fulfillment. And we were just talking about that this morning.
The takeaway with that is, even though it takes longer to maybe prepare and create, it has a much longer shelf life.
I think the term is evergreen.
Yep.
Right? It's funny how you know terms and you don't really know what they mean.
It's always green.
Yeah. But like, what are the implications? Okay. So something I've been looking at is trends for next year.
Okay.
One trend that I'm going to throw at you.
Oh, let me set up for this one.
And our team here, our guys in the background, is a digital detox. Is shaping up to be one of the trends for 2024.
I think I could use one of those right now.
This
100%. Podcast is over. I'm done. Well, but as somebody who creates a lot of content, writes a lot of content between the newsletter, between YouTube, I'm constantly studying, learning, immersing myself in it. I can definitely feel that. And I think for me as a creator, it's definitely actually less about consuming and a detox from just creating for like a week to let my brain recharge,
See, I feel like I'm on the other side of that, where I'm like, I need the consuming piece.
To me, it's all linked though, because I consume a lot to learn or find things that I'm going to talk about. So
yeah, I think maybe it's our wirings. Like for me, it's more of like, I'm with you actually on the creating side too, but on the consuming side, you're like, we consume I don't think people understand, like, not to brag on us, but there's many people out there that do what we do, and we consume so much media daily, articles, videos. How many messages have I seen at 3 a.m. from you? Like, yeah. And so
sharing a piece of content.
Dude, look at this. What about this? What about this? That piece, sometimes I need a break of just like, not from you, but from literally the content of just like the inputs. And so I'm feeling
so we're getting ready to do a fast with our church to start the year, more of a spiritual fast. And so it might be good to just align a digital consumption fast along with it. Well,
where I get this from was just, I've surveyed different sites, hence always being on content,
Yep.
But Greg Eisenberg, if you don't follow him on Twitter, his handle is Greg Eisenberg. I'm going to plug his content. He put out a great post the other day. He said, someone's actually going to make $1 billion in the digital detox space. And he said, tons of opportunities with businesses on this. 2024 will be the turning point because people are realizing their phones are drugs.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like fast food. The Big Mac you eat might have felt good in the moment, but some remorse creeps in your stomach, and as your stomach starts turning.
Yeah, my hips are going to jiggle for a week.
And so but across Pinterest, across a few other different sites, the digital detox is shaping up. It's on people's radar. And so as entrepreneurs, we even talked about this, just what next week looks like.
Right.
And not a detox, but I don't even know, a turn down.
A break.
A break. Yeah. And so to you guys out there, it's funny though, because some people are like trying to get up to speed and trying to get to where we are and where others are.
That was us last year, right? From October through January, we were producing because we were in a season of getting started.
Yeah.
Now we have a production schedule, team, stuff we didn't have before.
So let me ask you this. The detoxification of media, the digital age.
Yeah.
Is that something you would consider implementing throughout your year as a practice?
Yeah, I mean, probably when I do like my quarterly reset, where I take time to think about working on the business instead of in the business simultaneously. That's probably a good time to clear some headspace. It used to be you could get away from it like on a flight or something. There was no internet. Now there's internet. So I find myself on a flight not even watching a movie anymore. I'm like consuming content on Slack.
Pay for that Wi-Fi.
Writing it. Yeah, it's $8, right? So we're always connected. So I think it's less about just the content, or it's more about the being connected part to the phone and to the internet.
Yeah.
So I went last Saturday, went and shot birds. Well, I didn't shoot any birds. It was pretty dry out there. But you wake up early. You're out there at 5:45, and you're laying down your decoys, and then you're hopping into the pit, and you're just sitting out there hanging out with a bunch of dudes waiting to shoot some birds, right? And so you're just talking, and you're not connected to digital. You're not on social. You're sitting there with a shotgun, right? So nobody's messing around on their phones. Everybody's focused in on what's going on. And honestly, it was great. I didn't go back on my phone really the whole day after that. I didn't need to post about it either, right?
Spending a day away from my phone today.
Yeah, exactly.
To shoot some birds. I love it. I dig that. Well, so we have that, but going full swing on the other side of this spectrum, where you have the detoxing from digital to a fully functional AI news broadcast, channel1.ai. Have you heard of this? I just started looking into it, but they're seeking to have the first AI all the time news broadcast come 2024 that is also, they're going to bring in a personalization aspect of it too.
So it's just scouring the web looking for news?
Well, I have a trailer here. I'll send it to you offline, but I'll give you guys a little bit of an audio clip from my microphone, from the computer, just so you can hear how they're positioning it.
Yeah, Nicole can cut it in.
Hello, and welcome to Channel 1, a new way of consuming, reporting, and thinking about the news powered by artificial intelligence. Today, you'll witness AI-generated stories and headlines, captivating visuals, and data-driven insights. From global news to finance to entertainment, we'll show you how technology enables us to bring you a global perspective 24/7, right from the heart of our AI native newsroom. All presented by our team of AI-generated
What'd you say?
Look at the AI images, though.
That's AI.
That's all AI, dude.
Bro, this is like the beginning of iRobot.
Guys, we'll share this link in the video and we'll maybe even put it on the screen. But
I mean, you seriously have to. You seriously have to stop and consider when AI gets that good and is controlling the narrative. How do we verify that shit is legit?
This is an AI generated. That looks like your boy on screen.
Yeah,
literally.
So the pro is though, could we do this podcast and not actually have to be here?
Potentially.
AI versions of ourselves. You can make my face look less fat. And yeah, the pod can give me a little bit more hair. Yeah, that sounds awesome to me. No, but I do have serious moral concerns around that.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's already hard to decipher between truth and no truth. So I think we're going to move to, there's going to be a lot more trust. Like what Elon saw on Twitter with the blue check and making people pay that everybody was up in arms about is more important than ever.
This makes me honestly think of like all these movies like The Hunger Games and every sort of dystopian movie. iRobot, where it's the big voice of communication, and then you have these smaller little communities of truth where people are surviving and thriving and getting through with it. And I feel like we're shaping up to that, to where it's like Twitter will be a smaller platform where people have paid to know like we're interacting with each other. But you leave off of Twitter and it's like, womp, womp, womp is the one big message that's just shaping everything. You got your 24-hour news report. It's the implications of this are huge, like you're saying, and in particular in the media and journalism spaces. Integrity, ownership. There's a big battle definitely waging on in the background of just how we'll handle information. Who's accountable for this? This could potentially destroy a person's business. Who's going to be responsible for that? And so, well, it was a code. It was code. It wasn't my fault, So we're talking about detox. We're talking about more content creation. We're talking about full scale news broadcasts. This is the world we live in, where we're building and moving and shaking in.
I think my prediction is trust and transparency in every interaction is going to be more important than ever. Well, on that note, I'd say we wrap it up.
Our charge to you today is own it. Be the reason why the people around you are better. Their character is stronger. Their families are stronger. Their relationships are stronger, and that they're growing wiser instead of becoming more foolish.
Amen.
Until next time, team.
Peace.